Hey YouTube friends, welcome back to the shop. Today's video number 3. What we're doing is we had to build a hooch behind us, and what I mean by a hooch is we had to enclose the area of the boat that we're working on. We needed some heat. It's in Texas now, we're about 43, and I know a lot of places is a lot colder, but if you know the chemistry of fiberglass, anything below 70 degrees it does not like to set up. So what we do is we cheat. We build a hooch with 2x2 furring strips, put plastic over it, and if you come around, I'll let you peek inside. You can see how we get heat. All right, so we're inside our hooch here, and if you see, we got a heater going right here, and it is nice and warm inside of here. So one thing I've done is I've gone ahead and put the resin, which we're gonna use here in a minute, and our cobalt octane, which is an accelerator for the cold temperatures, works really good along with your hardener, your catalyst, your MEKP. You combine these two and it really accelerates the setup time on your resin. We're gonna make what a lot of people are calling fiberglass peanut butter, and we're gonna use 1/4 inch chopped strand with fumed silica. And we're gonna make probably about 28 ounces of resin, and we're gonna combine the chopped strand and the fumed silica. We're gonna mix it, we're gonna make like a real thick paste. And the reason that is, if you look here, this is the top, this piece of wood. This is the bottom of what's gonna look down in our casting deck here. I've already glassed this with 2 layers of chopped strand and just plain resin for water resistant, because this is going to take, and we're going to put this over the top, and we're going to put it in this casting deck area. This has all been finished. We've come in here, we put this bulkhead in, we moved the casting deck back, and we put furring strips around the edge here. And what this is for, this is where the top is going to set on top of here. We're going to put the fiberglass peanut butter in here, so to speak, along all the way around the edge, along this edge. And we're going to take this lid or this casting deck and we're going to flip it over and put it on top. I have reference marks on the side here. I don't know if you can see them or not, but they're here in the corners. There's some right here in the front. And the reason we do that is because it just makes it easier whenever you set the casting deck on top of here to position it in the right spot. So when we get ready to screw it down, once we have the fiberglass putty or peanut butter in place here, we'll screw it down and we'll know exactly where it needs to fit, so there's no guessing while that resin is starting to harden, and you won't get yourself in a bind. If you look at this paper in here, you're probably wondering what all this is. All this is for is when we screw this top down, some of that peanut butter could run over the edge and drip and make a mess inside where we already got our work that's really pretty. So really all this is just a drip cloth basically. Once we get the top on, we can come back once we cut our openings for our hatches. Once we figure out how we're gonna position the hatches, we'll come back and we'll cut the openings, and we can come in here and take and pull all of this drip cloth out of here, which is just something, you know, to keep our work from getting messed up. All right, so right now we're gonna go ahead and get our polymer resin. Here we're gonna put it in our mixing bucket. We're gonna do, a quart will be 32 ounces. We're gonna do about 26 ounces. We're gonna do a little less. I don't think we'll need that much for this area right here. We'll go ahead and add our resin in. That's right at 24 ounces of resin. The next thing we'll do is we're gonna make a putty. So we're gonna take our 1/4 ounce chopped strand. Now this is no science here. You can just mix it to the thickness you want it to be at. You can make it thin or you can make it thick. Right here we're gonna make it kind of thick so it won't be runny. And all this is just fiberglass is chopped up in real bitty tiny strands. I'm gonna take my mixing stick and start stirring it in. Stir it in real good. You don't want to leave any of this stuff stuck to the side. in the bottom of the bucket to where it makes it real clumpy. At this point, I haven't put any activator in it, no catalyst, so it's not gonna start setting up. If you look, it looks like rice sitting inside of here. Looks like rice strands. I'm gonna add just a little bit more. And that should be plenty of this chop strand in here. Get it mixed in here really, really, really good. Scrape it off the side walls of the bucket. Scrape the bottom of the bucket real good. That way it's not gonna leave you any clumps. Now, the next thing we're gonna do to thicken this up is we're gonna add our fumed silica. Now this stuff here is very lightweight. You really don't want to breathe it. Apologize, I don't have a respirator on. I just wanted you to be able to hear. So I'll make a little scooper out of cardboard. And again, there's no science behind this. It's just get it to wherever the consistency you would like it to be at. If you want it thinner, put less. If you want it thicker, add more. I'm gonna start off with 2 scoops. I've made this stuff before and I'm pretty familiar with what it needs to be at. It's starting to get real thick. It's turned into a putty now. Pasty type base putty. Keep stirring it. That's a little runny. I'm gonna add a little bit more, thicken it up. I want this stuff kind of like Dyna-Glass, like Bondo would be like, where it's really thick and it's not gonna run off these edges when we add it. Yeah, it's getting really thick now. It's getting to a really good paste. A little bit more. Still a little bit running. That's gonna be good. Now it's getting real doughy, like a cookie dough. It's really thick. And that's what we're gonna want. So it's good and thick now, it's not runny. All right, so cobalt octane, it's an accelerator. It takes very little of this. I have 24 ounces, so I'm gonna put maybe about 6 cc's in it. I'm gonna mix it in. It's turning blue. It's gonna make this stuff turn dark. I'm gonna mix that stuff really, really well. And what that is, that's an accelerator. All right, I got it mixed in. Good, consistent putty. All right, so 24 ounces, I'm gonna mix it at 2%. I'm gonna go 20 cc's that I have here of the hardener. And if you watch, it's gonna turn from pink and start turning brown. See that? That's good. That's what you wanna see. That means your hardener is activating with your resin. Okay. Mix it really, really good. Don't want to undermix it and have undermixed resin. Make your job go bad. All right, so got basically just a putty. Got a Bondo putty. This is gonna lay it on right here. Don't need much, because once that lid goes on here, it's gonna smash out some. You see, this is why I put that drip cloth in here, because this stuff's gonna drip a little bit. Now, this is fiberglass, so you know it's gonna be a little messy, but that's okay. We can always come back and sand it and clean it. All right, we got the putty peanut butter in. I'm gonna come in here and drill a couple potholes real quick. I'm gonna go all the way around this guy, but next thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and set in some screws. I have my reference marks on the side here already set, and what this does is to pull this top down in the bed of putty real good. Hold it in there nice and tight. Working a little fast because I'm against that time on this stuff hardening. This top is pulling down really nicely into that bed of glass, so it's going to set in here really good. It'll be bonded to this boat very nice once it cures. Checking my reference marks, everything looks good. We're all lined up. Not going to have any issues once it hardens. Looking really good. All right, guys. I have a little bit of that putty left. I'm gonna come through in this gap, and I'm gonna go ahead and just fill this gap in so we don't waste material. And in our next video, I'll show you where we're gonna get this level. Everything's pretty level as it is right now. And then we're gonna chop strand, and we're gonna glass all this. We got some sanding to do, and we're gonna laminate this top to the boat. That's gonna be in video 4. Thanks for watching. Here you can see the leftover fiberglass peanut butter I have. I'm just going back and filling in the gaps between the top of the casting deck and the side gunnel edge of the boat. This will allow for the deck to be tied into the side of the boat nice and tight. I'll come back and laminate the top with 2 layers of chopped woven, and that'll be in a different video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll be seeing you again.